Hello everybody, it's Sean here from the Nerdaholics and I hope you're having a very nice start of your weekend. Happy Friday, cheers. I don't have a beer on me right now, which is very slacking on my part, but I hope you get one later, we'll see. Just a quick video commenting on an interesting article that I found a couple of hours ago on Doctor Who, obviously. This time it's not ripping on the current era, even though that's always fun to do because it deserves it. This is actually something that is talking about something predating the Chibs Whittaker disaster piece, and it is to do with an alternate ending to the Matt Smith Series 7 finale, Name of the Doctor, where instead of John Hurt turning up at the end, something else happens, which I thought was quite interesting. So let's get on with it, shall we? Before I go on, if you would be so kind as to like, share, and subscribe, that would be great. That would be very nice. Or not, but you know, it would be nice. So, Doctor Who screenwriter reveals alternate. By the way, my voice is a bit croaky because I did a very intense band practice last night, and I'm the vocalist of the band, and I probably didn't lube my voice up giggity enough. So if I sound like Marge Simpson at any point, I apologise. But here we are. Okay, so Doctor Who's iconic episode, The Name of the Doctor. I don't know if I call it iconic. I think the ending is iconic. The ending that we got is iconic with obviously John Hurt, the late great John Hurt, turning up at the end. Not even saying a word. It's just like, oh, holy crap. That was great, but it was kind of a mediocre finale for a mediocre series overall, I thought. I never really liked Series 11. Obviously, it's in my fucking head. Series 7, obviously says that's the thing. It's just like Series 11 and 12, just talk about it so much, about how much I don't like it. It just sort of is embedded in the brain. Series 7 was a lot better than Series 11, don't get me wrong. But in terms of Matt Smith, I feel that he deserved better. I think his last season wasn't great, in my opinion. Anyway, chime in down below if you agree or disagree. So, anywho, could have ended very differently. Screenwriter Stephen Moffat drafted a jaw-dropping alternative that might have changed everything. So, what would have changed everything, eh? Let's see. So it just goes on to summarise what happens in the episode. I'm sure most of, if not all of you watching this will have seen it. If you haven't, watch it, I suppose. So this article and what I'm talking about kind of makes sense for you. But yeah, so there's a whole thing about the Great Intelligence just trying to erase all the good deeds that the Doctor's done in his previous lives, or incarnations, I should say. And then Clara jumps back in and fulfills her prophecy as the impossible girl, well, for that series, and then becomes someone completely different in Series 8 and 9, but there we are. And then you see her running around with Tom Baker and John Pertwee and William Hartnell in the background, and that's not something I ever really liked, to be honest. It was like, okay, it was not quite as canon-breaking as what we got in The Timeless Children, but it's still the idea that she's been there the whole time throughout all of his incarnations. It's just a bit like... And oh, by the way, when I say all, I mean all. Because those are the incarnations. I'm not counting the Timeless Abomination and their incarnations. Nope. But yeah, still, even that was a bit like... Moffat's just trying to make her just like, you know, super companion. It didn't quite work for me. But anyway, yeah, so blah blah blah. So yeah, which it would have been hugely inconvenient because that space there's a lot of them. Okay, right, yeah, talking more about what the Great Intelligence is trying to do, and we know what happens. So let's go down, and now this picture here might give it away. So it ends on a jaw-dropping note where John Hurt turns around, revealing himself as the War Doctor who fought in the Great Time War. Yep, we know all this, but Moffat revealed he had drafted another ending to try and emphasise. The alternative story saw the 11th Doctor wake up as the 9th Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston on Gallifrey. Uh, yeah, so there's another bit to this article which I'll separate from this bit at the moment. So yeah, I think that would have been bloody cool. I mean, it would have been a great way of bringing Christopher Eccleston into the 50th anniversary, and perhaps that was obviously what Moffat pitched to him, which he turned down, unfortunately. But obviously he had his reasons, went on about it a bit in his book and interviews around the release of his book, which I still haven't read. I need to get on with that. If anyone has read that, let us know what you think of it, of Christopher Eccleston's autobiography. But then he did sort of open up quite a bit, and obviously he's doing Big Finish soon, so he's warmed to the idea of Doctor Who again, which is good. But the idea of that as opposed to what we got, which obviously the late great John Hurt, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that would have been better or not quite as good? I suppose it depends on what you think of Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor. I personally thought he was great, and it's a shame he only did one season, but again he had his reasons. And sorry about the shaky cam, by the way. I'm resting my laptop on my knee at the moment. Such professionalism here at Nerdaholics. I think that would have been a brilliant way of bringing him into it, because I think phone. Rather than having what we got, which was the weird sort of fractured splinters, there's fractured splinters of time in the sky, and you've got the fezzes being thrown in and all that crap. I didn't like the way they handled that. But overall, it was a decent episode, 50th anniversary. But that sort of thing was a bit like, oh, that was handy. But with that, it makes more sense for him he sort of like degenerates back into Christopher Eccleston. I thought that would have been really interesting, and then he would have been the lead of the episode, of the story, right up until the end, and then he regenerates. So yeah, I don't know. It would have been. I think that's quite interesting, and a nice little sort of tidbit that has nothing to do with the current era as well, which we seem to be getting more of. Which is it's funny, that, isn't it? So yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. I'm sure if you haven't obviously read the article already, chime in. It would be nice to get a bit of a discourse on that. And now this is where the article goes off back into speculation of who Jodie's replacement could be. Now, obviously, there's nothing set in stone. She's definitely doing series 13. That is, whatever. Just got to deal with it, unfortunately. But however you look at it, personally, I see it as unfortunately. But there we are. So it says here, while we flitter back and forth between past and previous Time Lords, many have been questioning who will be taken over from the current Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, the first female actress to portray the popular science fiction hero. Yeah, blah blah blah. It's the most sought after information in the biz, with fans desperate to find out who will be stepping into the weird yet wonderful world of the universe next. And then it goes on to the Tom Ellis conversation again. So it's going to be about similar ending to my last video. But it's just interesting how, once again, in an article about in an era of a certain Doctor's time, they are going on about previous stories in previous eras and potential replacements for future eras. So so it's Tom Ellis again going on about back in the day. I would have loved to have had an opportunity to play the Doctor. I just never think that it would have happened. So again, yes, it would have. We would have thought of you like that, Tom, and we still do. Well, I do anyway. I think he would have made and could still make a fantastic Doctor when you base his performances in Lucifer. He basically is playing the Doctor, just obviously a bit of obviously a gritty, dark, satanic version, but the characteristics are all there. He's got the chops, he's got the charisma, he's got the ability to command a room. He's just very good, and unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, Miss Whittaker just doesn't have those in her repertoire for being the Doctor. Anyway, it's just not She's just not doing it for me, unfortunately. Yeah, so it goes on. So they talk about the interview with him saying, "Oh, I would have liked to have done it, but I didn't because I didn't think I would be seen as that way. But could his passion for the character and the show stand him in good stead to be in line to take the reins when the 13th Doctor steps down?" See, now this will probably all be hearsay and conjecture, but it's popping up more than once, and I'm like, surely there must be something to it, and if there isn't, oh well. But I just think it's interesting how in the last couple of articles in the Express, anyway, they've just mentioned a little hint of Tom Ellis there at the end of both those articles. So it's just like, yeah, if only. So that was just it. Just a quick video on the alternate ending that was being pitched by Moffat with regards to Christopher Eccleston, sort of taking over briefly from Matt Smith, and again the Tom Ellis speculation. So let us know in the comments what you think of both of those. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun jazz, and hopefully I might even do an impromptu stream at some point over the weekend. Maybe one or two of the lads might join us as well. We'll see. If not, I'll just do it anyway, just for shizzles and giggles, because it'd be nice to speak to you guys and have a conversation on a live basis, because it's been a while since that's happened, but a lot of things have happened in that time, in life and in the world, as you know. Yeah, and we'll be back very soon. Cheers.